Okay, so it's been a minute. I've been away and working on other games, but I'm back. So as you know, I'm making a very similar game to Stick RPG. I've already got some fundamentals set up, like the character movement, the environment, some dialogue, but I want to move on to something new. In this video, I will be strictly working on combat. Some might say it's a bit too early for that, but I just want to get the difficult things out of the way. So I started off by changing the player's walk animation. I gave the player some guns you can shoot around with. I'm not really sure what happened after that. Then I played around with the player's arm position and decided that this position suits best. I added a weapon change and reload animation. I played around with different camera perspectives. Then I gave the gun a laser and a bullet trail. I polished the gunshots visuals a little bit. Now I need to make it so that if the player tries changing guns when there is no gun, then he'll be unable to, because right now, I fixed that and went on to a new fix. Whenever the player shoots, it can be interrupted, which is something I definitely don't want. So I also fixed that. The next issue is pretty self-explanatory and I don't really have a solution to this current problem, so I'm going to leave this one for later. I have these little cubes here that the player interacts with. Shortly you'll see why. I basically use these cubes to help me with item pickups. The player can now pick up the weapon that is displayed in the scene. So if the player only has one gun and picks up another gun, then it goes on his back. If the player has two guns and picks a gun up, it then replaces the gun. Simple. The player can now drop his weapon. Moving on, I use this cube as a reference for creating the enemy's movement. I made some adjustments and turned the cube into an actual stickman. One problem though, the character likes to skid across the floor. Yahoo! I got rid of the character skidding across the floor and added a trigger zone for the enemy. This trigger zone is basically the white circle surrounding the enemy. If the player enters this zone, then the enemy becomes aggravated. Currently, it doesn't actually do anything apart from just face the player with his hands up.
What you want, son?
Then I started working on the enemy chasing the player. Then I polished on the chase and added an attack. So far, the enemy only has one animation for an attack, which is something I want to change. And here we go, the enemy has different animations of attacks now. Next thing I wanted to work on is the enemy's ragdoll movements. So I implemented it. Whenever the enemy gets shot, then their body recoils wherever the bullet went. But there is obviously something wrong here. I'll fix that later. As of right now, the enemy dies immediately upon getting hit by a bullet, which is not how usually games work, so I give it some health. As you can see, one shot, two shot, enemy dies. Nice. So I need more than just one type of enemy, so I made a new one, a tanky enemy. This is a bit more of a deadlier version than the previous one, as it takes a few bullets to destroy the shield guarding him, which acts as extra hit points for the character, making him longer to kill.
Oh fuck.
Then I made another type of enemy. Instead of a regular enemy that just chases you with his axe, this one throws it at you instead. Pretty unique this one and much different fighting style compared to all the other enemies. This enemy will definitely make combat much more hectic because if you imagine a horde of enemies chasing you and a horde of axe throwers, then it will get chaotic very quickly. I couldn't stop there either. I made another enemy type. This one is just like the regular one, but whenever you shoot it, it does a cool little roll on the floor every other second, making it basically a regular enemy that can dodge bullets. So after making all these different enemy variants, I thought I would call it there because for now having 4 different types of enemies is more than enough to experiment with. So that's all there is in terms of progress for now. I still need to work on the combat a lot, but I'll definitely say I'm not too far away from moving my development onto new things like being able to ride cars and acquiring jobs. I'm also kind of caught up with what I should do for certain things because I want a strong vibe of Stick RPG in my game, but I'm not sure how much of that vibe I want to put into my game. For example, I've been thinking about whether or not my combat should be from the classical Stick RPG top-down view, or whether it should be something more conventional like from this camera view. Another thing I've also been debating is whether or not jobs should be made in a classical Stick RPG way, where you just click buttons and earn money and promotions, or whether or not you should just actually do the activities in a 3D game space. For example, a hitman's job is to go out at night to kill one randomly targeted civilian, let's say, and getting away with it. Or let's say your job is a professional boxer and you actually have to fight other stickmen in the boxing ring, or sometimes you're coaching other stickmen to become boxers. This is the early development of this game and these are the questions I'm asking myself currently. Although when it comes to these two things, I'm leaning more towards fights being from this view and the jobs being interactive. But you never know, I might do it differently. Let me know what you guys think though. And that's the video. Peace.